Daily tips. Most things look better when you put them in a circle.
Be about to.
Be about to.
Be about to.
Be about to.
To be on the verge of doing.
To be on the verge of doing.
I am about to leave.
I am about to leave.
يكون على وشك.
Of one's own accord.
Of one's own accord.
Of one's own accord.
Of one's own accord.
Voluntarily, willingly.
Voluntarily, willingly.
She did it of her own accord.
She did it of her own accord.
بمحض الإرادة.
In accord with.
In accord with.
In accord with.
In accord with.
In agreement with.
In agreement with.
His actions are in accord with the rules.
His actions are in accord with the rules.
بموافقة مع.
With one accord.
With one accord.
With one accord.
With one accord.
Unanimously, with unanimous consent.
Unanimously, with unanimous consent.
They all agreed with one accord.
They all agreed with one accord.
بإرادة واحدة.
In accordance with.
In accordance with.
In accordance with.
In accordance with.
In agreement with, following.
In agreement with, following.
The project was completed in accordance with the plan.
The project was completed in accordance with the plan.
بما يتفق مع.
Of no account.
Of no account.
Of no account.
Of no account.
Unimportant, insignificant.
Unimportant, insignificant.
His opinion is of no account.
His opinion is of no account.
لا قيمة له.
On account of.
On account of.
On account of.
On account of.
Because of, due to.
Because of, due to.
We postponed the event on account of bad weather.
We postponed the event on account of bad weather.
بسبب.
On no account.
On no account.
On no account.
On no account.
Under no circumstances.
Under no circumstances.
You should on no account go there alone.
You should on no account go there alone.
لا لأي سبب.
Take account of.
Take account of.
Take account of.
Take account of.
Consider, take into consideration.
Consider, take into consideration.
You need to take account of all the variables.
You need to take account of all the variables.
أخذ بعين الاعتبار.
Take into account.
Take into account.
Take into account.
Take into account.
Consider, include in calculation.
Consider, include in calculation.
When making financial decisions, you must take inflation into account.
When making financial decisions, you must take inflation into account.
أخذ في الحسبان.
Add up.
Add up.
Add up.
Add up.
Calculate the total.
Calculate the total.
Add up all the expenses to find the total cost.
Add up all the expenses to find the total cost.
يضيف.
Add up to.
Add up to.
Add up to.
Add up to.
Equal, amount to.
Equal, amount to.
The damages add up to a significant sum.
The damages add up to a significant sum.
يصل إلى مجموع.
In addition.
In addition.
In addition.
In addition.
Furthermore, also.
Furthermore, also.
In addition, we offer a bonus for early completion.
In addition, we offer a bonus for early completion.
بالإضافة.
In addition to.
In addition to.
In addition to.
In addition to.
Besides, as well as.
Besides, as well as.
He has experience in marketing in addition to sales.
He has experience in marketing in addition to sales.
إلى جانب.
In advance.
In advance.
In advance.
In advance.
Beforehand, ahead of time.
Beforehand, ahead of time.
You should book your tickets in advance to get a discount.
You should book your tickets in advance to get a discount.
مسبقا.
Take advantage of.
Take advantage of.
Take advantage of.
Take advantage of.
Make use of, exploit.
Make use of, exploit.
You can take advantage of the sale to save money.
You can take advantage of the sale to save money.
استغلال.
To advantage.
To advantage.
To advantage.
To advantage.
For one's benefit, to one's advantage.
For one's benefit to one's advantage.
He used the situation to advantage.
He used the situation to advantage.
استغلال لصالحه.
Gain an advantage.
Gain an advantage.
Gain an advantage.
Gain an advantage.
Have a favorable position.
Have a favorable position.
They have an advantage in this negotiation.
They have an advantage in this negotiation.
اكتساب ميزة.
Above all.
Above all.
Above all.
Above all.
Most importantly, primarily.
Most importantly, primarily.
Above all, you need to be honest.
Above all, you need to be honest.
فوق الكل.
After all.
After all.
After all.
After all.
Considering everything, in the end.
Considering everything in the end.
After all, it wasn't a bad day.
After all, it wasn't a bad day.
بعد كل شيء.
All but.
All but.
All but.
All but.
Nearly, almost.
Nearly, almost.
He's all but finished with his work.
He's all but finished with his work.
كل شيء إلا.
All in all.
All in all.
All in all.
All in all.
Overall, when everything is considered.
Overall, when everything is considered.
All in all, it was a successful project.
All in all, it was a successful project.
في النهاية.
All over.
All over.
All over.
All over.
Everywhere, throughout.
Everywhere throughout.
The news spread all over the internet.
The news spread all over the internet.
في كل مكان.
At all.
At all.
At all.
At all.
In any way, to any extent.
In any way, to any extent.
I don't like spicy food at all.
I don't like spicy food at all.
على الإطلاق.
For all.
For all.
For all.
For all.
Despite, nevertheless.
Despite, nevertheless.
He's confident for all his inexperience.
He's confident for all his inexperience.
للجميع.
In all.
In all.
In all.
In all.
Altogether, entirely.
Altogether, entirely.
In all, it's a good proposal.
In all, it's a good proposal.
في الكل.
Allow for.
Allow for.
Allow for.
Allow for.
Take into consideration, provide for.
Take into consideration, provide for.
The budget should allow for unexpected expenses.
The budget should allow for unexpected expenses.
يسمح ب.
Allow of.
Allow of.
Allow of.
Allow of.
Permit, make possible.
Permit, make possible.
The flexible schedule allows of various activities.
The flexible schedule allows of various activities.
يسمح ب.
Make allowance for.
Make allowance for.
Make allowance for.
Make allowance for.
Provide for, take into account.
Provide for, take into account.
We need to make allowances for changes in the plan.
We need to make allowances for changes in the plan.
يأخذ بعين الاعتبار.
Answer for.
Answer for.
Answer for.
Answer for.
Take responsibility for, be accountable for.
Take responsibility for, be accountable for.
He will answer for his actions.
He will answer for his actions.
يتحمل المسؤولية عن.
In answer to.
In answer to.
In answer to.
In answer to.
In response to, as a reply to.
In response to, as a reply to.
He smiled in answer to her question.
He smiled in answer to her question.
ردا على.
Anything but.
Anything but.
Anything but.
Anything but.
Definitely not, far from.
Definitely not, far from.
The situation is anything but ideal.
The situation is anything but ideal.
أي شيء إلا.
Anything like.
Anything like.
Anything like.
Anything like.
Not at all similar to, completely different.
Not at all similar to, completely different.
His behavior is anything like what I expected.
His behavior is anything like what I expected.
أي شيء مثل.
For anything.
For anything.
For anything.
For anything.
For any reason, under any circumstances.
For any reason, under any circumstances.
She won't leave for anything.
She won't leave for anything.
لأي شيء.
Apart from.
Apart from.
Apart from.
Apart from.
Except for, besides.
Except for, besides.
Apart from a few mistakes, it's a great essay.
Apart from a few mistakes, it's a great essay.
بخلاف.
To all appearances.
To all appearances.
To all appearances.
To all appearances.
Based on how it looks, seemingly.
Based on how it looks, seemingly.
To all appearances, the project is on track.
To all appearances, the project is on track.
بكل المظاهر.
On approval.
On approval.
On approval.
On approval.
Subject to approval or agreement.
Subject to approval or agreement.
The purchase is on approval from the manager.
The purchase is on approval from the manager.
عند الموافقة.
As.
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 As much as, equally.
As much as, equally.
He is as tall as his brother.
He is as tall as his brother.
مثل.
As for.
As for.
As for.
As for.
Regarding, with respect to.
Regarding, with respect to.
As for the location, it's quite convenient.
As for the location, it's quite convenient.
أما بالنسبة.
As if.
As if.
As if.
As if.
As though, as if it were the case.
As though, as if it were the case.
She looked as if she had seen a ghost.
She looked as if she had seen a ghost.
كأن.
As it is.
As it is.
As it is.
As it is.
In its current state, considering the current situation.
In its current state, considering the current situation.
We can use it as it is, without any modifications.
We can use it as it is without any modifications.
كما هو.
As it were.
As it were.
As it were.
As it were.
So to speak, in a way.
So to speak, in a way.
He told the story as it were a fairy tale.
He told the story as it were a fairy tale.
كما لو كان.
Aside from.
Aside from.
Aside from.
Aside from.
Apart from, in addition to.
Apart from, in addition to.
Aside from his job, he also volunteers.
Aside from his job, he also volunteers.
باستثناء.
On average.
On average.
On average.
On average.
Typically, on average.
Typically, on average.
On average, people spend 2 hours commuting.
On average, people spend 2 hours commuting.
في المتوسط.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
In both directions, repeatedly.
In both directions, repeatedly.
They went back and forth between the two cities.
They went back and forth between the two cities.
ذهابا وإيابا.
Back down.
Back down.
Back down.
Back down.
Retreat, withdraw, concede.
Retreat, withdraw, concede.
He didn't back down from the argument.
He didn't back down from the argument.
يتراجع.
Back of.
Back of.
Back of.
Back of.
Located behind, in the rear of.
Located behind, in the rear of.
The garden is back of the house.
The garden is back of the house.
في خلف.
Back out.
Back out.
Back out.
Back out.
Withdraw from an agreement or commitment.
Withdraw from an agreement or commitment.
He decided to back out of the deal.
He decided to back out of the deal.
ينسحب.
Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
Support, provide backup or confirmation.
Support, provide backup or confirmation.
She will back up your argument with evidence.
She will back up your argument with evidence.
يدعم.
No, backward.
No, backward.
No, backward.
No, backward.
Know very well, be thoroughly familiar with.
Know very well, be thoroughly familiar with.
She knows the topic backward and forward.
She knows the topic backward and forward.
يعرف. بالعكس.
Another tips. Do not compare yourself with others.